supposedly had a hearing this morning. I filed a lot of paperwork. Again, refiled it. That kept getting dismissed or rejected. They'd hold it in the electronic limbo until about 5 minutes before the court hearings, and then, rejected. This is evidence against the state. We're not going to have that here. So the state, in their absolute wisdom and complete above-board honest transparency, when I went pro se 3-4 weeks ago, decided that they're in panic mode now because Mr. Stetler might actually defend himself, unlike the lawyer we appointed him, who pretty much just didn't do anything at all. Not one thing. Agreed with DCYF and the state a whole lot. Client representation, lacking, to say the least. So today was their big new placement hearing. They want to move my daughter again instead of back home because I caught them covering up abuse at the shelter care family's house that I told them don't take my daughter there because she's going to get abused. But it turns out that the state is sponsoring that abuse and facilitating it and actively encouraging it. Sean Walter, looking right at you. Where's my kid? You haven't let me talk to her in a solid month since I arrested you for kidnapping, child trafficking, felony, perjury, falsely reporting to a law enforcement officer or agency under color of state. Looking at you, Sean. Are you going to produce my daughter? Or are you going to hide behind that color of state immunity you think you have? Because you don't. When you violate somebody's constitutional rights as a governmental employee, even if you have absolute immunity, as you DCYF ghouls have granted yourselves, you do not. You cannot violate somebody's constitutional rights and still claim immunity. That makes you a culpable, criminally liable criminal. One, with any kind of intelligence, would suggest a war criminal for Geneva Convention violations. And under color of state, that would make you very, 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 very responsible and very, very, very in need of some due process. The kind you have not afforded me or my daughter. We'll leave that for another video. I'm kind of getting a little aggravated there. Ooh, okay. So, big hearing today. They called in, the state called into question a motion to address my competency as representing myself pro se, which I have done very many times over the last 25 years and had absolutely zero problem. And also against the same assistant attorney general various times and had no problem. And won, actually. But this, the dependency matter, with big embarrassment and big money and big punishment involved at the state, or against the state, and various actors and employees and co-conspirators, allegedly, co-defendants. Yes, co-defendants is not hearsay because they are defendants on another federal matter. co-defendants. I kind of like that. So, the co-defendants that are operating at the behest and expense of the state, by the way, spending your money, your tax dollars, to come after little old me for the very, very, very heinous crime of being a single father. It's the only accusation on any of their paperwork ever to be factually correct. Mr. Stetler is a single dad. Agreed. I don't see how that's an accusatory crime. Where does it say? We'll do that. We'll find the note here. All right, we'll do a video of the Constitution, Declaration, and RCW. It's going to be a boring video. It's going to be like fun with flags, but it's necessary. So sit down, everybody. Time. It's Kiva Fireside story time with Jeff. Let's learn some American Civics 101. I wish this had the selfie cam. It's my Motorola. Great phone. But hacking. Okay, people. Sorry, I'm all over the place on this. Just drank 30 ounces of coffee and ready to go. I was ready to go for a court hearing, but they continued it because, well, it was a motion to dismiss on the fact that they're now 70, 80 days past their 75-day right to speedy trial. And because they have no evidence and have totally gone way past their timeline of mandatory dismissal and are incompetent with time and evidence and accusations, well, they need to continue it because, you know, they're incompetent with time, evidence, and accusations. Makes sense, doesn't it? You know, we need more time because we really don't want to be in this hearing, and we're going to find some subordinate to come stand in front while they take all the heat. We need a scapegoat. We haven't found one yet. Can you give us a couple weeks? I know yes, we're still holding the war prisoner and the hostage. Yes, we're still torturing her. No, we will not let her communicate with the outside world. And no, we will not let Mr. Stetler talk to her. Can we please have a little more torture time? Please? Please? Doesn't look good. You know? And where America, real America, where does a innocent father, I'm not innocent of everything in the world, nobody is innocent, period, but I am definitely innocent of any of the bullshit accusations that these ghouls have applied upon me. I'm a good father. I'm a stand-up great dad. I defend my daughter. I homeschooled her for 3.5 years. We went on tour of the Western United States for 18 months during COVID, running away from Emperor Inslee's edicts and mandates and proclamations, and I, via imperial decree, say you cannot have a job because Pfizer's paying me to. Wear a sock on your face. No, we took off and did Montana, Idaho, Utah, all over the place for 18 months. Homeschool. I have an honest relationship with my daughter. I encourage her to tell the truth. Be open. Like, daddy's, yeah, I might get upset at what you're going to tell me, but I'm always going to be by your side. I'm going to be behind you 100%. Absolutely. That is my dad. That is my duty as your father. Obligation. I swore a blood oath to that. I will protect you no matter what, as to the best of my ability that I can for your entire life. And I will support you, and I'll be there for you emotionally and physically as long as I possibly can. And I will give you every bit of my life force behind you to help you through this shithole existence called mortality. And I did not expect, when she was first born, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll go fisticuffs with some dude, or I didn't think that I would have the entirety of the state government, billions of dollars in assets, hundreds of people, literally. There's maybe with all the accoutrement and support structure behind hundreds. I have 7 attorneys general after me at this moment. 7. 1 centrally that I've dealt with before and have defeated before, pro se. That the same one, she filed a motion to address the competence of Mr. Stetler in his ability to represent himself pro se. And I quote, understandably, uncomprehensibly, cannot. Oh God, I gotta find it. Dang, I wish I could pause these videos and then start again, but it's understandably and uncomprehensibly. 3 suffixes on the back of uncomprehension. On comprehension. Yes. Comprehension. Comprehend. Root word. Uncomprehend. Uncomprehendable. 1. Uncomprehendably. Ish. Grammar. Stanford University, by the way. Great job there. Oh God, we're doomed. I feel like the lawyer on Idiocracy, because whoever's drinking the Kool-Aid down at Everett, it's got what plants need. I'm not joking. I'm sure Brondo is credit, Mike Judge. Not go come after me for some copyright something. We'll call it Marxade. Social aid? No, that sounds too programmy. Kool-Aid? No, okay. Did I say Kool-Aid? I shouldn't have said that. Sorry, you're not responsible either. The Heaven's Gate cult beverage, they're not going to sue me. Because, the thing, but there aren't any anymore. Because they drank, the thing. Mm-hmm. The beverage. The generic sugar-based flavor imbued beverage that has deleterious effects on life and society and the function of your brain. That beverage. It's called socialism. And has turned to communism. And is rampant in Washington State. And absolutely entrenched and ingrained in Snohomish County. Everywhere. Interdepartmental, cross-jurisdictional, cooperatively, collusionally, covering, obfuscating, and obstructing justice. Left, right, up, down, A, B, select, start, go. They found the cheat code to the Constitution of the United States. And as the Democrats are always, wee! Democracy. They found the cheat code. And the cheat code is bureaucrats at the health department. If you claim something goes through the health department, somehow they get to supersede the Constitution completely. It doesn't say that anywhere. See, you got it wrong, Chris Carter. It wasn't the Federal Emergency Management Agency. It was the county health department. And it's not men in black suits. It's not black helicopters. It's obese, middle-aged, bob haircutted, thankle flat wearing shoes, insolent addicts with a penchant for the hatred of men, themselves mostly, and projecting that upon the world. Abhorrence for children and families, and the need to destroy those which are. Need for some Machiavellian, narcissistic, the prince power, steeped in socialism, and curated and tempered by communism. That turned into some femocracy, misandrist, femauthority? I don't know. I'll work on it. Gynocentrist. Autocracy? No. Unaccountable to the Constitution, as Gutierrez put it. We're above the Constitution. It doesn't apply to us. We're DCYF. Well, I sure shit hope not. I hope there is a shred of America left, and you will be held with due process, unlike you have given me. Where is my daughter? I would like to talk to her and make sure she is still my daughter. I would like proof of life. I'm not trying to negotiate with terrorists here, but I'm having a real time ethically, morally, and legally making the decision of when does the James Madison speeches and legal, it's not even rhetoric, it's statute. When do I cease attempting the legal and paper and rational, mind-based convincing or dissuading or negotiations vis-a-vis the arbitrary arbiters that are, definitely possessing a pouch to which they nurture their half-born young for a while to have them grow into a more mature state. Not quite a mammal. I guess they're a subspecies of mammal. Genus. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species, subspecies. 8th grade biology, anybody? There's probably another one in there. I can't remember. But when do I stop talking and start acting? And by that, I mean with physicality and definite force. That which is equally or superiorly comparable to the force they have used upon me and my daughter. Which is justified by these here words. And in fact, actually mandated. I'm going to read the whole thing later, but, where are we at? And, object convinces deputism, prudence, happiness, relating to government, insecurities, rights, When the government has become tyrannical, it is your duty to change it. I was unprepared for this. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. I did not consent for my daughter to be kidnapped, nor did I consent for my rights to be burned. Laying his foundation on such principles and organizing his powers in such form as to them shall see most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Not seeing a whole lot of that, Mr. Madison or Jefferson. I'm seeing a whole lot of kidnapping, trafficking, laundering federal dollars for money going into state and DCYF pockets. Not a whole lot of safety and happiness of the citizens going on here. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that the governments long established should not be charged for the light and transient causes. Not light and transient at all. No, this is extremely heavy and dark. Evil, one would say. And according to all experience hath shown that womankind, amorphous globs of genetic carbon-based material that are genderless, meritless, and formless, equal upon all entities of the universe, legal goo. Are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable. That means once you get used to evil, you're complicit with it. The government's been abusing me my whole life. Let's just continue the abuse. No. Then the right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. Sheep will be sheep, and sheeple are sheeple, is pretty much what Jefferson's trying to get at here. Pursuing invariably the same object in vices and in design to reduce them under the absolute despotism is their right. It is their duty to throw off such government. Sheep, it is your goddamn duty to stop being a fucking sheep! Citizen, it is your duty to stand up and throw off this bullcrap kangaroo marsupial Justice Department. Period. It is the foundation of our freaking country. If Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, Adams, and Madison can fight the British freaking crown, the most powerful empire on the planet to that date, period, over a 2% goddamn tax, my daughter's been kidnapped, tortured, trafficked, sold into fucking slavery. That's a pretty good goddamn reason to separate and at least try and move the government somehow. To provide new guards for their future security. Trying to do that through the system. If not, where is this line, modern America, that is so abhorrent of anything just and truthful and honest? Where voters of America, where do I get your vote to draw that line? Or are there enough Americans who actually just do it? And how many police officers are going to stand behind this bullshit DCYF orders? Why the hell are you enforcing false, illegal, unconstitutional actions directed to you by a freaking obese, insulin addict, human-hating freaking health department bureaucrat? Oh yeah, in my Deputy Dumbfuck and Deputy Smugfuck videos, they don't know what the Constitution is, and they don't remember the oath they swore. Pretty concise and conclusive there. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, these people, these conquered territories of Washington State. It is now such necessity which constrains them to alter their former system of government. the history and the present King of Britain bureaucracy is a history of repeated injuries, usurpations, and having a direct object of the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these citizens. To prove this, let the facts be submitted to a candid world. I got a fucking way thicker folder than you do, Jefferson. That's not how I wanted this video to go. I was just kind of ad hocing it. But we'll get into this later, and I'll get back and see if the state has emailed me any information on the whereabouts of why they needed a continuance for the matter that was supposed to dispose and dismiss the whole bloody thing. Because they have just continued and continued and continued to continue, because we need a continuance to continue our continuations, because we continue to have no evidence and absolutely no legal right to do any of this. So can we continue, please?